Hey kids, welcome. Welcome to the show. How's everybody doing? Today I'm going to work on the viewer dice roll queue. And it's going to look a little bit like this right here. We're around Y position 435. Going down to about Y position 898, we're going to show up to 20 viewers in the queue to roll their dice. This is part of the scaling solution that we need to solve with regards to being able to handle a lot of players at once, all playing cards and cards that require die rolls to take place. Before I get into that, though, I'd like to start off with a little warm-up, like on some days. Today is no exception to that. I want to work on scaling of the die roll effects. And let me give you a little bit of insight into what I'm talking about when I'm talking about scaling. So let's bring up the spreadsheet here. This is the viewer spreadsheet. So this is going to keep track of all of our users. The number of cards they played, any optional trailing effects for their die roll, and their die back color. These can be changed using commands in the chat room. This is incremented every time a card is played. When the number's low, like that, and you play a card, you should see a small die coming across. There it is right there. There's the small die. The trailing effects are normal size. They're not scaled down yet. And also those exploding pieces are also similarly not scaled down. What happens is each time I play a card, if I keep clicking this a bunch of times, the die get bigger. Let's take a look at that. So you can see they're getting bigger. They're hit it about, I don't know, about 30 times. And I keep going, they get bigger and bigger and bigger. So there's this kind of scale that's changing here as we get more and more die out, as that particular viewer plays more and more cards. I'm not sure what that total amount is yet. It's not changed until we actually close down. It's stored internally in here. So when this is closed down, that gets reset. If I click on reload everything, it's going to reload that, and we should see it drop back down to a 1. In other words, the smallest size die. Let's take a look at that. There it is. So what we want to do is get these trailing effects and also the effects that take the die that make them go away. That scaled down appropriately. That's what we're going for. So that's my warm-up for today. Let's see if we can figure that out. Someone in here, we've got a function that I think starts with the word hide. Hide. Wait. Remove single die from array. Clear these dice. Still looking for, here we go. Highlight special dice, is this? Here's when we're removing it. These are removal pieces. So the removal pieces are kind of mixed in with other effects like the rings and things like that. And it's if we need to start the effect. So at some point we set effect kind equal to some value. And then that code that we just saw in there initiates it. There's where we have the setting to the value right there. It's in remove die. Okay, so I guess with I think it's possible to ultimately have these effects in here. So I think what I want to do,
Jenny 7, where are you? We need your help. Oh yeah, alright.
Janisku 7 is here, kids.
Here, right now.
Janisku 7 comes in with, Sir, your help arrived. Welcome, Janisku 7. Glad you're here. Yeah, so I've got things I'm not actually supporting yet, but I want to be able to support, I think, ultimately. Being able to have magic rings around die, the lucky animation, all of these. I'll drop a marker here. Fireball, kind of, yeah. Well, that's the removal. No, wait, that's if it's like a D20. The bomb is definitely a removal right here. So add dice bomb. This is the first one I want to go into. What I want to do here is I want to get this one right here. I want to pass that in right there. So let's go into add dice bomb, and now let's give it a I die of type I die, like that. Let's see, do we call it from anywhere else? We're not. And then now, what I need to do let's do this. Let's extract this. Close rotation, and let's make it a constant actually, and let's set both top and bottom equal to the same rotation. Let's get a local for this. And then what I want to do is I want to this dot scale is equal to I die dot scale. Uh-oh. I don't have a scale on I die? Now I'm really confused. I thought that for sure that's where I kept the scale. Where am I holding on to my scale? It's an I die object. Wait, is that true though? That's not what I want, I think. That's something different. All right, let's search for scale. Die scale in the die roller. Create die. Die scale. What are you doing here? Passing it in. Where am I getting this from? Create die. There's my scale right there, I bet, right? Yeah. What's up with the size? All right, let's go. Sorry, I'm being thrown a little bit here by what I thought we had and apparently don't have. Yeah, okay, that doesn't feel good or right to me. It looks like I'm totally pursuing the wrong thing. I don't necessarily want that. The D20, I think I'm going to need to add to a die the scale of the die. Let me escape to get back to where I was, see if there's another way around that. We're calling it in from here. What do I have? This dot scale. Scale falling dice. This dot dice roll data. Dot scale. Got an effect scale. Is it stored here? I'm feeling like I might be getting closer. That's it. All right, so we need to pass in a scale is what we need to do. Let's do this. Let's create an overall scale up here at the top. Okay. Next. Yeah, I think I'm going to throw it in saturation, X and Y. I think I'm going to throw it in as the third parameter. Okay, there's one done. Keep moving down here and add ground burst. The purple burst work? It worked. Okay, great. Thanks. Good to know that. Okay, cool. So, and grad and burst animation is good. It's only got 2 calls, or 1 call rather, I mean. This one's only got 1 call. This one, I think I forgot something. I'm seemingly forgetting this. Yeah, there's the problem right there. Fred Dice or Die Alive. Fred's not working though. I'm sorry about that. I need to search it, research that. I told myself I would go into that tomorrow and take a look at that. I can hit the buttons there, but Fred doesn't know what's going on with that. So, yeah, okay. Sorry, Fred. All right. This piece right here, we're going to need to do the same thing here. We call this the top sprite. It's equal to this. Let's say it's top right sprite dot rotation, and then we're going to say top sprite dot scale as well. It's equal to scale. So there, we've taken that one's done now. Add a smoky portal. Let's go throw the scale over there as well. It's one of my favorite effects that we've done on the show. There's scale there. Add smoky portal animation. We're going to throw in the scale there. Put the scale in here. Smoky portal back dot scale equals scale. Smoky portal top. Oops. Okay, that looks correct. Whoops, what's wrong here? Oh, smoky portal top. Not this, sorry. There we go. That one looks correct now. Add steampunk tunnel. Let's actually stick the scale after the X and Y. Okay, only, wait, use tier 2 as well. Trying to watch to see what's happening here. Throw a marker here. Go back. So we can extract this. Get die scale. Okay, let's go back. Is that Karnak? Yeah, it is Karnak. Freeman, how you doing? Freeman 42. Call this die scale here. And we'll throw that right there. Whoops. Okay, cool. And that's steampunk tunnel done. Hand grab. Grab dice with hand. Rename that one. Streaming also decided what to play on stream next. Deciding what to play on stream next. Okay. Probably Jazz Jackrabbit. A second. I don't know what's happening on the show, kids. I don't know what that is. Thanks for the dance there, Genescu7. Thanks for the dance music. Okay, grab dice with hands. Here we go. We're going to throw scale right in there. Going to get scale here too. Do we got the dice scale? We do right there. Okay, cool. Dice scale. Grab dice with hand, and here we go. Throw it there. Help. There's no help in here. Yeah, it's like, I think you do this. Do a bang and then a question mark. And you get a number of help pieces coming up. Customized to you. So the things that I can say are things that maybe you cannot say yet. Freeman, based on your user level. Okay, scale. Let's see. Grab dice. Did I get the scale there? Got the scale there. Good. Here comes the scale. Add shifted. We're going to need to come in here, create a new sprite proxy for it. Using QSP is my shortcut for that. For constant, this is a sprite proxy. What's this thing? This is the bottom. So grab lower. And then we're going to say grab lower dot rotation is that. Grab lower dot scale is equal to scale. We should probably add some aliases for it. Okay, you know, I'm really not that great at doing stuff like this. It's like, I know you're right, Rory. I probably should do these things. So grab higher. It's equal to that. Get the rotation in there and set the scale. It's equal to scale. Okay. Grab dice with hand appears to be done. Okay. Colored smoke. I'm trying to remember which one this is. I don't. Be great for a. Let's go ahead and just do it. Scale like that. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Okay, blow color smoke appears to be done. And those are, I did hand grab, smoky portal, ground burst, fireball I did not do. Okay, so we're moving back now. So we did these, we're going to do fireball next. Throw in scale there. Okay. flame on. We need to scale here. What's going on with flame on? Let's throw the scale out there. Scale is equal to this dot get die scale. Like that. So there we go. Flame on. Okay, attach damage fire, add fireball. Did we get that one done? Nope, not yet. Oh wait, almost. That was a mistake right there. Okay, there's add fireball correct now. Attach damage fire. Yep. We need to throw in some scale there. Okay, I'm going to put it right there. Scale equals 1. Hue shift is that. Okay, here we go. Scale. Need the scale here. What is this? This is the role type data. Show special labels. The message is cold. Attach damage cold. Add damage cold. Yeah. Okay. All right, so we got to do all the damage as well, because we're going to want to support that. Oh, wait. Hold on a second. I'm going to undo this. We don't need these here. I am going to give it here. Those are for, that's for the Chaos Bolt roll. There's a very special piece there to it. Need to throw in scale there for top die cloud. And let's get add damage acid. Throw the scale in there. Hey, Smash 8 Tap, welcome. Welcome. Default parameter should be last. All right, fine. That won't be a default parameter. Like that, we're going to do it like that. So add damage acid needs a scale after the X and Y. There's one there. That's the only call to it right there. Looks like an intense programming session. Well, I'm kind of refactoring. I started off thinking, here's my warm-up exercise for today, but I'm in it. Kind of halfway through the hour, working my way up to top of the hour when Rory's going to join us. So we'll see what's happening here. Let's get rid of these extra nameplates here so we only see Fred's. Very cool. Well, we'll see. We're trying to scale down. I'll show you what we're working on here. When we play a card that requires a die roll, the die roll is coming in, it's tiny and scaled down, but I want the effects, the trailing effects, to be scaled down as well. And I want them to match. And also similarly, when it goes away, I want those to be smaller. So that's what I'm looking for, is a smaller version of these effects as they're coming in. So I'm just going through all my existing effects that didn't have any scaling, and going through and making sure they all scale. The part that makes it intense is we've got loads of effects, different damage, and like acid damage or fire damage. So we have fire effects on the die, acid effects on the die, all of that. And I need to go through and make sure everything is done correctly here. So add damage acid scale is in here. On this, we're adding add top die cloud. There's our scale there. I think we need to go in and fix add top die cloud. We need scale here as well. Let's do this. Add top die cloud, gets a scale right there. Adds damage radiant, needs a scale going into it. Do we have a genres jazz? Why isn't that working? I don't have jazz. I've got funk, unfortunately. That's the closest I got. But you know what? I just realized over in Dungeons and Dragons world, do I have jazz? No, I don't have jazz there either. All right. Okay, keep going. Stay focused, Mark. There's my scale there for that piece. Let's just keep going down here because I know all of these I got to change. There's that scale. Add damage force. Add bludgeoning mace. Scale. Add bludgeoning fist. Scale. Ooh, look at that. Already setting the scale to 0.8. I think I wanted to drop it down a bit. So we'll just multiply it by scale. Okay. Add bludgeoning weapon. Scale. Good. Yeah, so these are the individual pieces. Add damage poison. Add damage piercing dagger. Can throw scale in there for add health as well. I think I'll make it a default for right now. Looks like about 20 or so methods we've got to update here at this low level. Maybe about 30. That's what it's feeling like. Okay, now let's move back up. Nobody's calling add Raven, huh? Interesting. Add Ripple. Somebody's calling add Ripple. Shoot. Updates diagonal special effects. I've got this one still call here. This needs a scale. Like that. And so we need the scale here. Yeah, I'm gonna add scale to die. I'm gonna add it. I need to kind of get it here. Okay. All right, so now I'm throwing die scale in there. Setting it for the die, the iDie object right there. That scale is coming in right like this. Ooh, I don't actually want to multiply by, I don't want to use die scale, I want to use scale. Let's make sure I'm doing that. Yeah, because if it's 100%, this die scale here is an internal number that adjusts everything to get the die up. So I'm looking for just scale on that. Okay, good. So now I've got scale on here for the die. I want to also look for anytime I've got a new dice something, because I think this happens in a few places. New dice. All these are covered by the line of code below. This one needs we'll do that, I guess, because it's a 1. Here's the other one. Okay, let's keep going. We set it to 1 there. And then we're back all the way around. Okay, good. Let's work our way back. So we got the scale in here, add print function. Now we want to pass in die.scale. Okay, cool. There's our add print function coming in through here. That's the old version of this. I'm still using that in one place and I haven't refactored enough to take it out. I also need it, pretty sure. Oh no, wait. I think I need it in here as well. No, I don't. Oh, sweet. Okay, so this is the new way of doing it. Add trailing effect. Let's jump in there. Calling add trailing effect from. Here's where we add the effect right here. There's nothing else before, right? Okay, so in here what I want to do is I want to say effect.scale equals die.scale. Okay, good. That's not bad. Add trailing effect from. Yeah, so these are all good. These are all going to be called from there. Trailing effects to sprite by name, add trailing effect from. We're adding it again there. And all of those are going to control the scale based on what's inside the die. The I die. Okay. Let's do the same thing here. Let's say scale. Wait, I should be able to duplicate that. There we go. It's equal to die.scale. There's add paw print. Add fangs. Let's keep working our way up here. Add spiral. Something. Okay, angle's not used here. Nobody's calling add spiral. Okay. Keep going up. Small spark. Grab dice with hand. There's my scale there. Is that still good? That one's good. Add portal. No scaling on this. Let's go throw it in there. Die scale. like that. Setting the scale on all of those. That looks good. Add dice bomb. Scale is set there. Sneak attack. Nobody's calling sneak attack either, huh? I think we're constructing adding these using data calls with data in them rather than actually calling this directly. Remove. Okay. Add steampunk tunnel. That scale is looks to be already set and passed in. Setting there inside. Add smoky portal. Now here I've passed in scale, but I've already got the die as well. So actually I'm thinking I don't need to pass in the scale here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to instead use the die scale instead. Okay, that looks good. Continuing to move my way back up the file. Again here, add ground burst. I don't need it. Now that I've added this here. Add ground burst, doesn't need scale anymore. Okay, continue to move my way up. Add a spark trail. Let's pass in a scale here. Nobody's calling it. Anybody calling this one? Nobody seems to be calling that one. Okay, blood-colored smoke passing in scale. That one looks good. Get frost trails. Oh, it's bringing back one of the random sprites is what it's doing. Get fire trails is doing the same thing. Let's get those return types correct. Same with get ravens. Just getting a random one of those. Okay, add raven is looking good. Nobody's calling it. I think it's data driven. Add ripple, I think we decided as well. Oh no, add ripple's got one. Okay. Inspiration smoke. Now we've got die.scale we can pass in. Okay, that looks good. Moving our way back up, add inspiration particles. Hold on, I want to report a code rush issue I've been noticing. All right, kids, take a look at this. I'm here inside of a TypeScript file. I'm going to hit Tab key, and now I'm going to hit it one more time. And now it works. Hold on, let's see if I can reproduce it here with this one. Tab, tab, that happens. Why does the tab replace it when it's selected? There it goes again. If it's selected, it should still be able to tab to next reference through it, I think. Now it works, but sometimes it doesn't. Come back up here, watch, tab, tab, and it kills it. That's the issue. Take a look at that, see what you think about that, guys. This is tab to next reference in TypeScript. Replaces selected identifier instead of navigating to next reference. Put that in the chat room. All right, kids, we're dog fooding CodeRush 4 days, 5 days a week. All right, so back over here, where were we? We were, let's escape to get back. Add Lightning Cloud. All right, here we go. We need to pass in the scale. Scale, scale, scale. And top tight cloud, pretty sure this one, I don't want the scale, I don't want to pass that scale in anymore there. Let's go look at the calls to this. Nope. Nope. That doesn't look like scale. That looks good. That one looks good. That's just the count. Okay, good. Edge damage poison. What's my problem here? X, Y. Scale. There's a scale in there I missed. Okay. Okay. All right, add damage acid. Okay, all of these, thought I was doing good work here. Undoing all of this. I don't want to have it be this kind of extra unnecessary piece. Yeah. Let's go back all the way through these. So anything up here with scale? Yeah. halo spin. We need to pass in a scale here, though. Same thing here. Oops. Word's about to come in, I think. Just continuing to work our way up here. Now we're in the parts that add text, it looks like. Okay. We got a little bit up at the top here. I didn't see. Okay, let's look at that. All this looks good. It's passing the die in. The die should... Oh, here we go. Okay. Got an extra scale here we don't need. Hey, Roy.
Hello. How you doing, Mark? You good?
Yeah, I'm doing my warm-up. My warm-up code, which I thought was going to take just a moment, and then it got a little deeper, is what happened.
Dear.
So, you know, I'm kind of in that space now. And
the rabbit hole goes deep.
Yeah, the rabbit hole goes deep. I haven't got it compiled yet. I've been coding for an hour. I've been in what I thought was going to be a short piece. It shouldn't take too long.
I'm sure the solution is literally just around the corner.
We'll see what happens. We're like, working our way down. It's kind of a little bit slightly maddening in that I had gone through and added this parameter, then realized, oh, you know what? There's a smarter way to do that, and now I'm removing it. Just because in the name of efficiency, I don't want to have,
Sure.
things that are not great. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm keeping an eye right down here. Oh, you can't quite see it here. It's it's showing up behind Fred, but I'll bring up my error list right here. There's what I've got right there. So working our way through it. The errors in here.
Yeah, you've added parameters, and obviously now you've got to correct the calls as well.
Yep. Whoops, this one does need scale. Like that. So add bludgeoning weapon is going to need to take a scale. Let's go tab the next reference on that. That'll take in die.scale as the second parameter. Same thing here. Okay. Don't need to pass in scale anymore because it's already part of die. So getting those fixed. Oops. Let's pin this up here so we can work on that. If you've seen me refactor before, I tend to stay far away from like a search and replace operation unless I know like it's likely to be pretty safe. So instead what I'm doing is I'm going through every single one of these, looking at each one. This looks like we need a scale inside of here.
I mean, that's just in the spirit of global operations tend to have this potential for global damage.
Yeah.
So if you can avoid them.
Well said, my friend.
I think it's one universal truth is that there are no universal truths.
Yep, you're right. Okay, add piercing tooth is asking for scale, but we don't need it anymore because scale is now encoded in die over there on the left, that first parameter there. So we just need to do this. It's getting better. Just got to make sure it works. Add damage piercing trident. Yeah, it's funny. It's kind of like, oh yeah, I went forwards and now I've gone backwards essentially, because at some point I hit something where I was like, oh yeah, forwards is bad. It was like not a bad idea at first, but I hadn't seen this, really noticed that. And I thought, oh yeah, it's so much better to have die have it.
Yeah.
Okay, damage slashing lance. And we're looking at the last one, slashing axe. Okay, did we get them all? Holy cow. All right, looks like we got them all.
Cool.
Let's go double check from the dice roller perspective here. There's like a special labels. Show special labels. Yeah. So this one is so we're not using die scale there. That's it right there. Chaos bolt. That's the piece that's kind of interesting. Let's do this. Let's take this for loop selection increase on that. Go ahead and take the next part of it too, I think. And now let's extract this to its own method. Well, I said let's extract it. There it is right there. It just took a while to come up. Okay, there it is. And now we're going to rename this. Call this show chaos bolt labels. This is one that where I'm actually making a call to attach damage acid. Let's see what's happening. Damage acid. Well, it should scale it automatically. It should scale it because it's passing in die to both of those. So all of that should be good, I think. I wanted to see. Let's go find, what is it? Hand grab, I think is what it is. These are the die removal effects. Grab dice with hand, passing in the scale there, passing in the scale there, passing in the die, which works as the scale. It'll hold the scale in it. Ground burst as well. Scale is there where we don't have it. Scale is there. Some asymmetry with regards to what we're passing, I'm noticing. I'm not a huge fan, but it's just too much for me to go after right now. Add magic ring. Something wrong here. Scale should be the third parameter where we've got this. And we've got a slight problem here in that there are going to be some methods that compile that are incorrect. So I still have to be very careful.
Yeah. That's the problem with optional parameters, or at least alternative overloads. Same logical difference.
Yeah.
And it's a challenge. It really is.
Yeah, like I might be breaking something here in the code that we've got. So we've got to kind of look carefully at each one of these as we go down here. This is the trouble area. This block of code here appears to be the trouble area. I'm gonna say let's give it a shot.
This, for what it's worth, is why I don't think we have this facility, unfortunately, in TypeScript at the moment with CodeRush. But if you're doing this in C#, you can introduce a parameter which will, at the same time, physically put a placeholder in every one of those calls. So even if it's if you ultimately make this into an optional parameter, you will effectively guarantee things remaining stable.
Yeah.
Which is a fantastic facility.
Oh, this looks like it maybe is working. I think that looks maybe is it smaller? Maybe I'm wrong. Oh no, it is. Look, those are the removals. Let's try one more time. Did those line up in the right spots? Check the removal, because it looked like they might have been wrong. That would suck if they were not lined up. Oh no, they're good. Okay, good. I was like, I just looked at the last minute on the last one. Now these trails are looking too big to me.
They are quite large, yeah.
Let's just watch it one more time. Those are cool. Let's throw some regular dice.
The dice are scaling, but the trails behind them not so much.
Yeah, let's throw a 12d12 fire damage up here. That all seems to still be working. Okay, cool.
Fire damage.
Let's throw
a lot of fire damage.
Let's throw the. Yeah, you're right. It is, isn't it? Let's throw out. Hold on, I just lost it. Where am I going with this? Yeah, those are much bigger there. Oh, I know where I want to go. Frostbite. Do I have it? Spray of Frost do this? Nope, it does not. Oh yeah, it does. Okay, so that's how big those are. And yeah, these trails look about the same size, and they should be like half the size.
9 cold damage.
So let's see if we can review the code and see what's going on with that.
Okay.
Add trailing effect. Add trailing effect from. This is where I thought we were kind of doing it. Thought we set the scale. Ooh, sprite scale. Sprite scale. Hold on, let's close. There you go, thanks. Oh, and look, something happened on the front where the dice weren't cleaned up. That's not good.
There was a strange thing that just happened there. I did attempt to close once before. It did not work. Instead, it's changed pages. Is there any chance the two operations interrupted each other?
Mode run appears.
Yeah, maybe. And what's interesting is I'm hitting clear dice. These are not clearing anymore. Okay.
Yeah.
Time to look at the console window. That's what I say. So let's bring up the die roller. Refresh it. Let's roll some dice somewhere. We got Ray of Frost again. What's up with this? Those are definitely problems here.
Yeah.
Plus 8.
Oh, that's
a
not
hit
good.
With 7 cold damage.
This pink thing? Okay, we have a problem. We have a problem because there's... I think something is scaling up big. Okay, here we go. We got at least one error here. I'll take
The
that.
dice did just disappear in the browser.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Good point. I'm in Dice Roller on 2530. What's going on over in Dice Roller 2530? Oh, and I haven't saved this. Let me save that. 2530. This. Oh, look at that. Like, I was just writing that in. That should be all gone. Let's clear this up. That could certainly impact code. Let's refresh. Let's cast Ray of Frost. Whoops, Ray of Frost, sorry. There it is. Send it out. Nope, we're still having something. This right here, this pink thing, is something scaled up big.
With 8
Yeah.
cold damage.
It feels like we're massively zoomed in. Because it's not
yeah.
100% opacity. It's like there's almost depth to it in the microseconds it goes past.
Right. I think it might be the, well, I don't know 100% certain, but I was going to speculate that it was the trailing effect is what I was going to speculate this was.
Okay.
Let me try again here. Ray of Frost. Cast spell. See what happens up here. No, this trailing is good. What is this? What is this? I feel like I recognize it.
6
Something spinning. There's a ring going past.
with 5
It's the
cold
magic ring, I
damage.
think. I think it's the magic ring. So it's, you know what it is? It's one of these parameters where we're passing a hue shift and instead it's scaling it up. I think it's the
Right.
magic ring is what I think it is. Oh, here we are. Look at this right here. Magic ring hue shift. Let's double check the magic ring. Scale is coming in. Okay.
Didn't you say that something needed to be saved a minute ago? I didn't see quite what it was, but you didn't refresh since that. So it could be that it's okay now if we refresh, or am I a step behind?
I don't know. We'll double check it. See what happens. Here comes Ray of Frost again. Nope.
No, that's still there, isn't it?
Yeah. It is. I'm pretty sure it's magic ring. That's
plus 8
and I think it's scaled up by the
cold damage.
hue shift, which would be 320. If we change the dye color to just red, the hue shift would be 0, and we would see what it was. Or we'd really want it to be 1, but I don't want to do that. I think I can find it this way. Is what I can think of. I can find it. Magic ring, hue shift. Here, let's go back and look at this. It's only used there. Add magic ring. Let's go look inside here. Scale. Maybe it's not. Nobody else is calling. Oh, here it is.
There you go.
Right there. I bet that fixes it. Anybody else calling magic ring? That was one of those awesome moments where I was like, nobody else is calling it. Oh, here it is. Here's another one right here. Add the D100. So I'm going to say, call it die 10.scale. Get that. Right. Same thing here. It's not, if this
No one
is
else
the only
calling it,
problem.
except for these ones right here.
Yeah, I know. If these are the only problems, I'll be like, okay, cool. That's not too bad. Here's another one. This is called a lot. Die.scale. Okay, cool. But still, like, all right. Okay, add magic ring. Tab next reference isn't getting me any further. There. Can I drill into it? I can drill into it. All right, scale. scale, scale, scale. No
Not
scale
scale.
there. Right. Die.scale. Just copy the clipboard. Is there anything else? No, it looks like we're circling all the way around. Scale, 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 scale. Add halo spin gets a scale. Okay. Let me just, I'm curious about that add halo spin. Let's see where else we got there. Well, that's a bug I just reported a second ago. Scale, scale. Just to make sure that one's good too. That one looks good. All right, let's come back over here. Refresh. Refresh that data. Ray of Frost. Go. There it is.
Better.
Yeah.
9 plus
Okay.
8 hit.
All right. So then is that going to
7 cold damage.
make them go away automatically? That looks good. Okay, so let's refresh. Close that down. Refresh the main stream page.
Yes, it's important to note that we were in fact running that in 2 places and the corrections had not yet hit the stream. So yes, there was a little bit of a pink overlay that went by just by virtue of that, but the actual browser did not have that effect, so that's good.
Thanks for pointing that out, Roy, because my eyes were totally in the wrong place. I was looking up at that time. Okay, so one more time. Ray of Frost on the main stream. Here it comes. Love this effect that's spinning around me. All right, there's that one. Let's simultaneously send this. And now I think we're...
Plus 8. That is a hit
smaller.
with 6 cold damage.
Let's see. I'm going to just hit this a bunch of times. If I hit this about 100 times, it'll go up to... the size gets bigger and bigger. I just want to see is the trailing effect now looks noticeably bigger. I don't think it's changing. Yeah, this is a hard one to notice on this. I don't think it's changing. So I don't think that trailing effect is... So let's go look at the trailing effect. I'll rename this element. I'm not sure what you thought I was trying to do. I'll rename this one right here. Why can't I rename that? There we go. Add trailing effect from. So there's die scale.
Just nothing setting the trailing effect scale.
Yeah, we just got this sprite scale piece here, which is passed into it. What's going on with that? Sprite scale, sprite scale. Okay. This is, yeah, scale with velocity. Okay, so here's what we need to do. I think it's as simple as this. That's what we do. Set sprite scale to that. Then there's this further adjustment that can happen with velocity. So if something slows down, the size of it gets smaller. Oh, Lottie is following. I think that might be all we need to do. Position trailing sprite. We have an old version of this as well. Old position trailing sprite. Do I do anything with scale in here? Die scale, I just passed it in right there. All right, that's used once. All right, let's see if that works. Let's refresh again. And let's throw out the Ray of Frost. So that'll put it up in the top. And meanwhile, I will throw one in the bottom as well. We'll compare the two. Here comes the one that should be full size. Here comes the one in the bottom. Well, it's bigger now. That's not fair because I made them so big.
Plus 8.
Let
That's a
me
hit.
reload everything. That's
7
going
cold
to
damage.
shrink the lower dice. And, all right. And looks like let's try that again one more time. So we're going to say Ray of Frost, cast it, play the card on the bottom as well. How are we doing now?
16.
I think it's smaller.
8. That is a hit.
I think it's smaller.
Cold damage.
But it could be my imagination. I'm like willing to admit that. Let's see, try again one more time. Ray of Frost, play the card, go. I'm looking at the ends. See the ends of the pieces.
13.
Well,
8 hit.
the other problem with checking this particular one, let's change this a second. I'm going to switch to fire. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm inside of the chat here, and I'm typing in TE for trailing effect, and then I'm going to type in fire like that, I think, and it's going to switch it to fire trail. Okay, and now when I play it, we should see small fire trail behind us. It doesn't look that small. It should be noticeably smaller than that. Do we have a problem here? So I'm setting it here, but I'm wondering if there's a... Oh man, what's the min scale? All right, hold on. I've got some clamping in here, and I bet the min scale might be one. I don't know what the min scale is. That's set individually, but I'm going to multiply that by the die scale, and I'm going to multiply that by the die scale as well, whatever that die scale is. There's trailing effect dot scale times die scale. Okay, I think we need that. This may be the other problem here. I think that may have fixed it. And what's going on in here? Trailing effect scale. I think I need the same thing here. I need a multiply times the die scale there. All right, now I'm feeling a little bit better about that. You want to give that a shot, Rory?
Yeah.
You do? Okay, good. Because I wasn't sure if you were going to be like,
the
no.
alternative is perhaps just sit here.
We can sit here if you want. Okay, one more time. So here we go. Ray of Frost. Quickly get out here. Hit the play card button. Hit the cast spell button. Well, yeah, that looks smaller.
That's definitely smaller.
All right, good. Let's go look at the. Change this back to Frost here.
With 12.
And see if it's noticeably smaller. That's what I'm looking for. Here we go. Does not look noticeably smaller to me.
I'm not convinced. If it's smaller, it's by a pretty marginal amount.
The other one was, though. That was crazy. All right, let's do it again.
Yeah. Well, that looks smaller.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? All right, let me do this. Let's compare that. I'm gonna hit it about 100 times. We're gonna see what happens. You can kind of see some of the effects coming out. Are they getting bigger is the question. This one's really hard to tell because it gets bigger as it plays, and in addition to that, it gets smaller as the dice slow down. All right, let's look at it now. Let's do it one more time now that it's all cleared. Here we go. God, I'm not convinced, Roy. The fire one totally was
I thought it was small at first, and then it suddenly seemed bigger again.
Yeah, let's go back to fire. Let's go back to fire a second here. And we should see giant explosions coming in here. That looks and feels bigger than before, right? Would you agree with that? Or does it feel like
I
I'm
missed
just...
that last one.
All right.
Oh.
Doesn't that look much bigger?
That's bigger.
All right,
Yeah.
let me do a reload everything. So why would it work on one but not the other? I just think we're dealing with this. Let's play again. Now that we've reloaded, we should have small die. I'm not convinced. Excuse me. Let's go change it back to fire and play it. Here comes the fire. The fire here should be much smaller than before. That's clearly smaller.
Yeah.
Why is the frost trail going down? That's really, really interesting. Maybe frost trails... Wait, I have an idea. Maybe the trailing effect for frost trail isn't actually using the scale.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
like maybe it's just ignoring it. Here's the frost trails. Here's what we call get frost trails. Let's get a random one. Add trailing effect from. We're throwing in sprite scale to it. Yeah, it should totally do it and work. So I think it has to do with we're setting the scale there, but I think it's just getting the scale from. I'm looking for something like scale from. Do I have anything like that? Scale with velocity. All right, I want to take a look at that. There it is. That's the missing piece. I think. Oh, no, it's not missing because we're already multiplying. I was going to say, now we got to multiply that by die scale, but we don't. Because die scale is already a component on all three of these pieces. I think I'm going to simplify this. I'm going to remove this, change this to a 1. And then down here, sprite scale, I'm going to do this, clamp it there. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say sprite scale times equals the die scale. What's this? Scale factor. Sprite scale divided by trailing effect dot scale. Let's do this too. This might fix it, switching the order of these pieces right here, because this, wonder what's going on with scale factor. Well, this separates the, this is the distance between the forward and back prints.
Right, so the individual components of the trail rather than any
Right.
individual component of the trail.
Yep. Yeah, and I do have 2 of these. I really got to notice here with this awesome to-do that says, for goodness sake, Mark, let's do something with this. This is really interesting. What is this old code? This is used for inspiration and only inspiration roles. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to come back to that later. Okay, let's do a refresh. See if anything better coming up with that. I think we're in fire. Let's switch back to frost. And play it. There we go.
That's smaller.
It is.
That's obviously smaller.
It is. All right. Now.
See, we weren't going mad.
Yeah, well, we were going mad when we were thinking it was. We were trying to tell ourselves that it was okay. I don't know why somebody other than me did that. All right. No, I'm kidding. There's something else. Here's where we're getting the positions. Left, right, scale factor, time scale factor. This is the min times scale factor. Yeah. I want to put this here. if I put this here, making it smaller or bigger, that will then scale factor is affecting the distance between the prints. So for example, in the last one that we just played, you'll notice that the distance between the shards of ice is long. It's longer than we normally see it, right? And so it's spread out. After this change, I'm expecting to see that same roll be much closer together. No? Or maybe? Yeah, maybe. Hard to tell.
Yeah.
And if I play it like 100 times, it should be further apart. Let's go in here a bunch of times here. Yeah, I think I'm going to say close enough. That we're kind of like close enough. By the way, this is what's simulating what happens if a whole bunch of people play a bunch of cards at once.
Yep.
Which is not bad, right? You know, I've been concerned about the scaling on this.
Yeah.
Even though we're talking about scaling of the effects, I'm talking about scaling of
the multitude of effects.
Yes,
essentially.
being able to handle scale like a bunch of people playing all at once. So, like, I get a whole bunch of people playing cards at once. We're at least going to see that.
Yeah.
So they'll spread out into regular places. Okay, and that looks better. We switch over to fire. Send the card out. We should see giant explosions as it comes in. Cool. And if we were to come in and change our color, using the dye color command and passing in, let's see, we want to go more red. So like that, and then play again. We should see some red explosions. There we go. Similarly, if we switch over to the frost and go back and do it, we should see red. Yeah, a little bit of red frost, pink tinted frost. Okay. Okay, that part is done. Let's go look at over here what I'm talking about doing here. I'm talking about creating a die roll queue. So right now, if a whole bunch of people play cards at once, what happens is the cards come out fine, but now if I play while somebody else is rolling, we erase their roll and my roll comes out.
Yes. And that's not good.
It's not good. I want to queue it up. And what I want to do is I want to devote this part of the screen right here from there to right underneath the Dungeon Master's window frame, which goes from y equals 435 to 898. I want to devote that to being able to show 20 names, up to 20 names. And if it's more than 20, it's just, you're just off the list. But if you see go all the way up there, then you'll know, okay, there's a big long queue. We can do a die roll. So there are practical limits, right? We can do a die roll in about what seems to be about 12 seconds. So 4 die rolls a minute, maybe something like that. Let's just double check that, make sure I'm right on that. Let's come in and play the card. Let's count from the time. Well, no, I'm just going to time it from the time the roll comes out to the time the roll goes down. Getting up, I'm bringing my phone. I'm bringing up my stopwatch here. All right, ready, and there it is right there. All right, so we're about 3 seconds, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we're done. So it's less than 10 seconds. So not bad, right? You can do like, 6 of those a minute, 6 of those die rolls a minute, which is not bad. So if you're in the list, you're looking at, if you're in this list here, you're looking at 1, 2, 3, and about a third minutes right there in terms of what you're waiting for, I think, if it goes that much. The other thing that I think is cool about this is that the visual cue in itself can help the scaling issue. In other words, if you're going to play if you're about to play a card that has a die roll on it, you might see the cue and realize, oh, I'm about a minute away from this thing actually rolling. Let's not play it yet. So I think that
you might consider it a waste of doing it if it doesn't happen at the right moment, because 3 minutes time, is not going to affect the part of the game, the ongoing game that you want to.
Yeah. Now I don't anticipate that we're gonna get into this situation, right? To get in the situation, to get 20 in the list, you'd have to have 20 played all at once, for example. One way to do it, and now it builds up. Or you need to have them coming in at a rate significantly higher, or at least higher than 6 every minute.
Yes.
Right. And I don't necessarily anticipate that to change significantly during a game, but to be honest, I don't know, because this is all new stuff. But I do know that as I build everything I build, I'm worried about scalability of it, right? Because I at the very least need to have given it some thought. And so we've done a pretty good job of, in almost everything we've built so far, being able to handle scalability. Like what happens if, like right now, we can have, everybody can have up to 20 cards in their hands, and they can show the cards and hide them, and independently, all the players can, including the dungeon master, can individually select what cards they want to play if they have cards in their hands to play. So this is like what I think is like the last scaling kind of issue before I start reaching out to Streamloots and say, okay, I need a way to shut down so cards can't be played remotely. I need some way to deny a play is what I need. And that would be the last scaling option that might be a concern if like things were, if we had that problem. So we're going to show up to 20 viewers in the queue. We're going to animate the viewers down each time we do a roll. So player 1, when we do a roll, this text will animate down into this space just as the die comes out, and player 2 will go into the player 1 position, and everything else will move down. Yep. And the way I want it is I want him to move down. I want it to seem natural, like we've done before with, I'll show you right now what I'm talking about.
That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, I want it to be natural.
So you want to kind of remove one of them from the bottom and have the others kind of fall down into position.
That's exactly what I'm looking for. It's that kind of effect with the names when we go through. Look, I know some of you may be like, Mark, what are you doing? You can just put text up there. And
style and polish. There you go.
I want it to feel, well, it's just a better feel. It feels natural than something that makes me, and the other thing is we're playing a game set in medieval times, so everything's got to feel natural. It doesn't make sense. The only thing I'm thinking about doing is normally we use this font everywhere. I'm going to go with probably this font, whatever font I'm using for the clock over here, this small font, just for readability, because this font here doesn't scale well. At smaller sizes, it's harder to read. And so I'm just going to give up on trying to use that, and I'll go with the clock font, whatever that is. Use the clock font. Okay, and I'm not showing it here, but I want, as we get further up in the list, I want opacity to drop to about 50%. And as we're here, opacity is, highest contrast. It's 100% for the text. So we're just going to, as we get further away, we're going to indicate, hey, you're further away also in terms of the contrast. So that's kind of what that looks like. With regards to communication, somewhere in here, I've got a card command that throws a card DTO down, sends a hand out. That's one of the things that we send down. Send card command. It's passing in the hands here. Is that what I want to do? It maybe not. Did I lose Rory? Hey, buddy.
Hello. Sorry, mate. I think that might have been my fault. I accidentally leant on the wrong button and hung up.
No worries. We do that sometimes. We have family movie night over here at the Mangigotti Miller household. And sometimes somebody rolls over onto the remote control and everybody screams at him. Everyone. It's not fair. It was an accident. You can't blame whoever that person is who rolled over on it last night, but the whole family hates them. Hates them. Whoever he is.
At least in that half second until it's fixed, right?
Yeah, I know. Last night it happened, and I was rolling over trying to find it, and panicked because everybody's yelling. and I go to find it. As I pick it up, it's somehow gone from inside Netflix out to Roku and then back right into Netflix again, ready to go. And I was like, not a big deal.
And of course, movie night, it's likely quite dark. You've closed curtains, you've shut things off. So finding that remote in the first place could be a challenge.
It's not good. Yeah. All right. So let's see. I was thinking about the card command. I was thinking about this, that we would send out kind of the updated viewer role queue. Let's go look at roll the dice or roll viewer dice. Let's go find that. No roll viewers or a viewer roll. Saved cards for viewer rolls. Roll dice. Got a lot of roll the dice. I feel like it's close here. Is it here? All right, let's start out in... let's go find this guy. Here we go. Here's the roll die command inside card commands. And this is... yeah, we're slightly problematic here in that we need at this point information that we don't have. We could get it here. Let me close down the app, I think, so we can make some changes in here. Yeah, so over in the Hubtastic base station, I think I may have... do I have an event in here? I got all dice destroyed. Received in-game response. What's that? Let's look only at events here a second. Dice stopped rolling. Those are the two I want. I'm going to hook them here. I was going to say we need the information elsewhere, but I'm going to hook them right here.
Okay.
Dice stopped rolling. Okay. Now, inside here, if I've done my work correctly, dice data, there's a group. No, shoot. Stop rolling data. There's a group. There it is, dice group. Okay, so I want to say, hey, look, if this dice group is equal to viewers, then now that's something I care about. Okay? Similarly, all dice destroyed. That's something I care about. So, if we've stopped rolling, we might... I'm not going to... maybe not do anything here, but maybe just consider accelerating the destruction of the die in case the queue, we got a queue. We got viewers in the queue.
Okay.
In fact, I think I absolutely want to do that. I'm going to just change flat out right now. Accelerate the destruction of the die in case we have viewers in the queue. Okay, good. Now down here, if it's equal to viewers, we want to do a to-do that says DQ the queue. And roll the next die. Okay. Now, shoot. There's potentially, there's one more problem here. We don't have an event. We do not have an event that happens when we roll the die. as a viewer roll. Let's change this to roll viewer die. So we have one place here. What we need to do is we need to essentially track our state. Okay. So when we come in here to roll the viewer die, we need to, I think, set a Boolean. I've also been playing with the idea in my head of a number that increments every time we call it, and decrements when we get out, when to stop rolling. But I think I'm just going to go with a Boolean here that we're waiting for it. So we're going to have the Boolean be called static, waiting for dice to stop rolling. And we're going to set it to true here. And then when we get this stopped rolling, we're going to set that to false. And do I need a waiting for dice to be destroyed? Set it equal to true. Kind of like this double two-state kind of situation here with these bools. And then here we're going to say set it to false. Okay, so then what we want to do is at the start of here we want to say, hey, look, if we are waiting for the dice to stop rolling or waiting for the dice to be destroyed, and I guess I should, you know what, I think I'm just going to make this, change it to this. We just have that one right there. And so we don't care when they stop rolling. We're just going to wait till they're destroyed. And this one is going to be all dice destroyed. This one's going to be set to false. All right, so that's set to false down here. Apologies for leaving you hanging here. What I meant to say, if we're waiting for the dice to be destroyed, then we want to enqueue this roll. Okay. Now, let me take that and go all the way down to here, with the exception of this. All right. So there we go. If we're waiting for it to be destroyed, then we're going to enqueue it and we're going to get out. Otherwise, we're going to set waiting for dice to be destroyed to true, and we're going to call roll the dice. Note that there are errors here, and I'm report syntax errors somewhere. I'm not sure if I need to do this or not, because these are all coming from my cards, and presumably those are all going to be correct. I'll have gotten through all those bugs, but I'm kind of playing with that space there. Okay, so now I've got my dice roll. Just checking the properties. Set up the DTOs there. I set up the scale based on the reputation, so that's what sets the die scale right here. Add the trailing effects if they have those trailing effects. Okay, so now I think I'm pretty good with all of that. So dice roll is of type dice roll. Then I want to have a variable that's a queue of those dice rolls right there, I think. And we're going to call this the dice queue. Maybe queued rolls, dice roll, viewer dice roll, viewer rolls, the viewer roll queue. Set it equal to that.
Better because we had a queue for all dice rolls. because then you'd actually be suggesting, at least by naming, that the viewer roles could get in the way of the ongoing.
Hey, Ro, your volume is super low all of a sudden, and I don't know why. It's almost like a different mic got turned on that's farther away from you is what it sounded like. Sounds like.
Is it okay now?
No. It's still pretty low. I have individual controls for you here, but wait, that's a little better. Do it again.
Testing.
Perfect.
1, 2, 3.
That's perfect. You totally came back. I don't know what it was, but you're totally back. All right, so there's the viewer.
USB turned it off and on again.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so viewer roll queue. I'm in queuing it, and we're out. Okay.
Yes.
We also need a failsafe. In case for whatever reason, like communication error or something along those lines. But if we don't get a dice stop rolling event, we need to be able to still DQ. So we need like a timer, I think.
That's right. You need a max length of time that will allow anything to continue before just deciding, no, this is beyond a joke. Kill it.
Right. So if we say it's 10 seconds for one, we could set the timer for 30 seconds, for example. And that would be 3 times longer than we would expect. Or we could even maybe do it 20 seconds. And that's twice as long. I'm kind of leaning towards the 20 seconds. So let's set up a timer as well. Since this is all happening in, do I have a timer? I don't think I do. All right, so this is happening in non-UI time, right? Every single one of these is happening in response to the player. So it's all, it's in any thread, right? I need just like a regular timer. I don't need a dispatch timer or anything like that. I think we've got, whoops. Unless it's like in system.threads.timer. I almost feel like I have a using systems.threads.timer. Nope. I feel like I had a template for that. Threading. Is it system.threading? Am I in the right place, Rory? Do you have a recollection on this? Do I have timer in there? Looks like I do. And thread pull thread at specified intervals. All right, let's see if we can get this to work. It wants a callback in there. It really wants a callback. Okay. Can I do a callback here? Maybe I can.
I would imagine so.
Timer ticked like that or something like that, maybe. Can I declare from there? Oh, I'm happy about that. Okay, so there I've got my timer ticked like that. Somewhere inside here, we're going to say timer dot interval. No. What is it?
I think it's tick, isn't it? Or
Looks like change.
oh, changes the start time and the interval.
Milliseconds. All right. The due time, the start time, and the interval. So the due time is the start time. Amount of time delay before invoking the callback method. So I want that to be 0. Specify when the constructor was in milliseconds. The timer from restarting. Just specify 0 to restart the timer immediately. So I want to say timeout.infinite, I think. And the period, we're going to create a static constant up here. And this is going to be time to force roll dice like that.
Mark, are you having any bandwidth issues on your up speed at all?
Doesn't look like it. It shows I'm in the green according to OBS.
Okay.
That's what I'm seeing. I can do a speed test right now. That might slow me down the speed test, but let's see what happens. Do a speed test over here.
I've had to resort to watching the stream instead of Skype because Skype's video is fuzzy as anything. None of the text is
let me go
watchable.
Let me see what's going on over there. It looks like I'm good there. What's my... Let me do a speed test from the second machine too. See what that looks like. Speedtest.net.
Should do a speed test here as well, just in case.
My upload speeds on my main machine is 35 megabits per second, so that's good. On the secondary machine, I'm running that. That's my download. It's 35. Yeah, upload is 35 on.
Okay,
machine.
I got about 10 each way, but that should still be plenty.
It should, yeah. I'm not sure why you're having a problem from there. And I'm looking at the stream live, so that's...
Stream's good.
I'm sorry.
That's what I've noticed. The stream's actually better than Skype. It's kind of annoying. The only difference is, of course, I've got a bit of a delay.
Yeah, no, I get that. I apologize for that, Roy. I'm not sure what's wrong with that, but I was looking at the Skype video sent out, and it's definitely not a problem between my machines because the Skype video is smooth, and it's full
Okay,
res.
fair enough. Never mind. Okay, where were we? Timers.
Well, I think I only need to do this when I'm starting it. This is weird. This is the first time I've used this particular timer.
Yes, I don't recall seeing this one before. At least not with that kind of specification, anyway.
Yeah, so we're going to say change, and now I'm going to change this back to 0. Time to force roll dice is 20 seconds. And timer ticked is going to be down there. And now we need to know. Now it's tricky. It's tricky. I'm starting to think, no.
We've got no state and we've got an object coming in. It's like, okay, thing happened, now guess everything.
Kind of, but we need to know that we haven't seen it since. Oh, you know what we could do? We could just do the standard, timer thing where when we say stopped rolling or dice destroyed, we come in and we just kill that timer. That should maybe be enough.
Okay, so by virtue of it still being running, it hasn't yet run.
I really don't like this timer. I don't like. I'm looking for start and stop. They're not on there.
Yeah.
So system.threading, you know what? Isn't there a system.timers? Let's go into there for a second. Let's play in that space instead. This is going to make me happier, I think.
This looks better.
Okay, interval. There we go. So there's that. That's what I like. Comfort is what I like, Rory. Okay.
Familiarity.
Yeah. All right. Let's go back over here. So whoops. Timer dot start. I think that's all I need.
Stop, elapsed, interval, all those good things. Enabled.
Yeah. We're going to come in here and call stop if we get in there. And we're going to call like a DQ roll. Maybe DQ viewer roll. Like that. And we need the timer.stop right here. Okay. And this one is going to be DQ roll. DQ viewer roll is what I meant to call it. All right, DQ viewer roll. So we have now enqueued the roll. Our to-do there is gone. And
Mark, I'm maybe a little behind because of the stream, but are you still using the method that was generated for the previous timer? Because this one works, if I'm not mistaken, on the basis of an elapsed event.
oh, you totally saved me, Roy. Look at that. You totally did. I am. I changed it up here, but I never set up the elapsed event. Thank you, buddy.
Fair enough.
That was
No problem.
That was beautiful. All right. Awesome.
Also gives you more interesting information coming in that event. Maybe not particularly useful for this, but it's more than just object state.
Yeah. Okay, so here we're starting the timer, waiting for it to be destroyed. So this one, I think what I want to do is extract that into a method. Call it, it's iDice roller coming in here. Is that passed in? Oh, it's passed in. Okay, cool. We're going to need to wrap that up, I think. I did not realize I had the iDice roller here. Although, hold on. Actually, you know what? Give me a second on this. I'm going to take this. So we're passing in. iDice roller is just, it's the main window we're passing in. It's got this method, roll the dice. Is roll the dice going to work? Is that going to be thread safe? Is that going to be able to happen on any thread? I think it is. Yeah, because we got this safe invoke call. We got these invokes that are happening here. Safe invoke, in case you're like, wait, what's that? That's just some checking here with the dispatcher invoke around it right there. UI thread sleeping while waiting to answer your question. So just that's what's going on. Okay, so yeah, it looks thread safe. So roll the dice looks good to call. What I want to do is, instead of passing in the iDice roller here, I want to initialize it. I want to initialize it. Card commands. So I want to do something like this inside of our constructor. Maybe inside initialize game. I want to come in and say this card commands dot register dice roller and pass in this. Then we won't have to pass it in each time. Then I won't have to save it separately, and all the other code I wrote is still going to be okay. So this is going to change it. We're changing this to an iDice roller. Whoops. And the property with initializer. There's my dice roller. Sweet. And now we don't need it here. We're going to change this just to dice roller. Now we should be able to remove unused parameter and do the same thing here. Why don't I have a remove unused parameter here? Did it just take too long to figure it out? I don't see it. All right, let's report it. All right, kids, roll back about a minute to see what led up to this point. But I'm here. I've got an unused parameter, not used here. Show potential fixes. It's not there. Where's CodeRush to help me out? Remove unused parameter is not here. Let's try making some changes and saving and see if that triggers anything here. Nope, I don't see it. Not sure why it's not allowing me to remove it. So I'll just have to do that by hand. How's your day been going, Rory?
Oh, I've had an all right day. I mean,
Yeah?
unfortunately, I've got a bit of a boring bit. I had to look through some contracts and stuff. So they're never that entertaining, to be honest. I'd far rather be at the business of actually solving problems, you know?
No, you did. You helped us today. You kept us from going.
Well, that's true.
All right, so now I've gotten rid of that and that dependency that we were passing in. And let's see, what are we in here? We've got, I wanted to take this and put it in its own piece right here. Call it roll the dice, I guess. Roll viewer dice, maybe. Okay. And it's going to take that particular dice roll coming in. Now, at some point, I think I'm calling this DQ viewer roll. I call it here. And I call it in case the timer elapses. I'm thinking about setting a break here with a message, to myself that says, hey, we should never reach this point.
Yes. We reach here because we have, for some reason, spent far too long waiting for a dice roll to finish.
Like that. That's kind of what I think we're looking at. So now inside DQ, we've got this Q. Why am I not seeing it? The viewer roll Q, that's what it is. Okay, so we'll say if viewer roll Q dot count equals 0, then we're going to get out. Otherwise, we're going to say a DQ on that. That's going to give me my dice roll, and I'm going to say roll viewer dice, pass that in. And then there's a to-do update in-game UI. That's what I think we're looking at. Now what I think I want to do is set breakpoints all over the place here and see what happens. See if we're kind of, things are working like we're kind of hoping and expecting them to do.
Sure.
Let's set breakpoint there. And roll viewer dice. I think we're good there. And a breakpoint there. And that feels like it's all good. All right, let's roll it. Run it. See what happens. Roy,
just for what it's worth, Mark, my Skype has cleared up 100%. I've got full HD, 25 megabits suddenly. It's suddenly just working.
That's awesome. I was gonna, I was just gonna speak to that. I was gonna say, we should try disconnecting and reconnecting the call. That's what I was thinking.
I think these days I view connectivity as kind of magic, black magic, which, although in theory we know the incantations for, apparently just not the right inflections here and there.
Okay.
So,
All right. So
maybe my dice rolling isn't quite so good as it should be.
So I'm throwing some dice out, just to make sure those are working. Let's play one of these out here. Should see it coming in from the side. Giant dice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Dice stop rolling, and it's the viewer dice. Sweet. That's one's coming as expected. And all dice, it says all dice destroyed. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, now it does. Uh-oh. Object reference. Shoot. Stop rolling data is null. That's not good. Is that thing that happened again?
Yeah.
Do it one more time.
I mistyped the first time, in fairness. The second time, it changed page, and the third time, it's functioned correctly.
So this is interesting. This all dice destroyed doesn't seem to be sending a valid stop rolling data. Let's try. Let's watch it again. Uh-oh. Yeah, we're in a state where we're waiting for dice to be destroyed. The timer went off. Roll viewer dice. We DQ it. Yeah, that should be okay. Okay. That we know is working. Timer elapsed. Get to that timer elapsed. No, because we stopped it. Roll viewer dice, though, should start it. What's happening? Play the card. Here's my breakpoint. We're enqueuing it. But we're never getting an event back, which means we're never starting the timer.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, in queue, because we're waiting for the dice to be destroyed. So this is like a bad state bug right now. I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to set a breakpoint there, and I'm going to check to see if the timer's not running. If it's not, I'm going to start it. So we'll say if if not enabled, then we're going to say timer.start. See what that looks like. Okay. And at the very least, that gets us 20 seconds to get out of there. Now, part of the reason I think we got in the problem is I think this is code that we may never really need to execute later. We got in the problem, I think, because, well,
it's the kind of thing we're going to hit in debugging rather than any real situation.
Yeah, I think part of the problem was okay, so here we are. We finally got this. Timer stop, GQ viewer roll. Let's roll it, starting the timer up again and rolling the dice. I just hit F10 on it. There we go. Okay, and run that. See where we get. What? We didn't get, did I not have breakpoints up here? Okay, timer elapsed. We didn't get, did I have breakpoints up at the top? We didn't get all dice destroyed. That's not good.
There's your timeout finally happening.
Okay, we're not getting all dice destroyed coming back, it seems. Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Stop rolling data is null. That's problematic. Okay. All right. Okay, that's really problematic. Okay, so we need to make sure the stop rolling data is good when we send all dice destroyed back. Yeah. I was not anticipating that being a problem here. Okay, let's run it. Let's disable all breakpoints for a second. Okay. Back over here. There's something called all dice destroyed. This should be destroyed. This last dice rolling data. This is when we report it back to the main app.
Yeah.
Why are we setting that to null? Nobody's setting it to null. All dice should have been destroyed.
Any chance that it sequentially gets called before that field is set up? So it's not that it's set to null, it's that it's never shifted from null.
Yeah, I don't think so, because I mean you can set the breakpoints and you see what the orders is being passed, how it's being passed. I think it's last roll. Let's look at the two things we use with last roll dice data. Dice have stopped rolling, and all dice have been destroyed. So they're both very similar. Let's come back over here for a second. We're looking for dice have stopped rolling. All dice have been destroyed. I'm wondering if it's a JSON conversion issue. Dice have stopped rolling. Dice event args. All dice have been destroyed. So tell Dungeon Master is kind of blocking these two. They're very similar. I'm just going to move it down here. I'm going to close this down a second. I kind of want to start it back up and see if we kind of got ourselves into a bad state issue.
Sure, yeah.
So these two are very similar. In fact, this part is the same in both of these.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't think it's a conversion problem. Set dice data. Dice stop rolling data. So I am not getting it. Why? Why in the event handler is stop rolling data null? Yeah, it's just passing in the same dice event args. It's the same code in both places. So the problem doesn't seem to be in C#, but also doesn't seem to be in TypeScript. All right, so that's what we get here. See if we ever see that.
Fair enough. Back into sleuthing mode, aren't we?
Yeah, kind of, isn't it? It's like, what's going on?
And yet this is what happens. So a thing goes wrong and it seems that the sequencing is correct and everything's okay. First step, gather more data.
Yeah. All right, I'm starting up the app. We did get it.
Whoa, just going to declare that looked like it was working fine, and then
how is it null? How is it null? What's going on? Let's go look at this really carefully here.
So what's happening in the assignment? Because there's only 3, maybe 4 locations. The assignment is literally, here is object with properties named this with values this. It's about as definitive as you might imagine it could be. And it's only after that that we declare stopped rolling.
Yeah, let's go look at, let's figure out what's going on here. This report die back to main app is there. I want to look at the other call. All dice should be destroyed. It's coming in with this. Is it the problem that?
Oh.
That's suddenly feeling like...
that feels plausible, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We're so used to looking at the word this going, aha, I know exactly what that means. But if we've contextualized ourselves incorrectly, especially with timers and deferred code,
yeah,
very likely.
Let's see what happens now. Thought I hit the button. Play card. Nothing's happening. Why isn't anything happening now? Did I lose my Signal R connection maybe? Clock's updating. Oh, okay. We're at a breakpoint. All right, let's go back over
it was
here.
the expiry from the previous selection.
Okay, so there. And now I'm anticipating you can now wait a second or two and then declare it. Yeah. In fact, we even started another roll here, which feels right to me. Okay, so that's great news. A good bug to fix, and I'm glad that didn't take too long.
Good stuff. And at least we have plausible reasoning as well. For those who've not seen this before, when you call deferred code, when you do all of this, the nature of this isn't so much the this it was when when you declared it should happen. It's the this in the context of it happening, unless you declare and you bind the two together in advance and sort of glue them together, so to speak.
Yeah, that's what we did here.
That Mark added there.
Yeah. Let me just do a tab to Unix reference on set timeout. Make sure I got to bind this call on all of them. That would be a good thing to check, right? There's there. Set timeout. This I don't have to bind because I'm using the lambda. I'm pretty
lambda
sure.
Syntax.
Yeah. There. I can't quite. Okay, this is the one that I don't have. What's resolve? Resolve is a lambda, so I think we're good. I think they're all good now. So that looks like that was like the last one, the last issue. Okay, so we don't need this anymore. That's reassuring that that's now working the way I'm expecting it to work. Okay, so now let's see if the behavior is as expected. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I see the die rolls? Nothing is coming in. Maybe because we're in a bad state. No, we've got the timer. The timer should kick in within 20 seconds at the very least. So like right about now, we should see it kick in. Oh, there it is, right there. Okay. And then hopefully now they go back to back. If they do, then let's see. We'll get the next set. There.
There we go.
Good. Good. So, all right. So we don't have the visual part of the queue up there, but we're not bad. Roy,
no, but we have a functional queue.
Yeah. You probably have to leave soon, Rory. Is that right?
I am pretty much on the cusp of that, yeah, Mark.
All right.
It's probably a good time, in fact.
Let's do it.
Worst case now, I will see you tomorrow, same time.
All right, buddy. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll continue on the queue tomorrow.
Excellent stuff. See you then.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, kids. That's working pretty well. I'm happy about that now. We got those queue unloading, and it seems to be working as we're expecting it to correctly. Let me try something else. I want to, would this work? No, it won't work. 2, 3. Yeah, actually it could work. I could make this work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go hit this 3 times. That's about 30 seconds. Come in here, change my color, the dye color here, and maybe change the trailing effect and then add 3 more. And then we'll watch all 6 of those unload. So we'll do this. 1, 2, 3. Come over here, hit enter. Let's go to fire. Come back over here. 1, 2, 3. So we should see 2 more die rolls coming in. Using frost trails and the red dye. And then, so after the next one, then it should change to blue and fire trail after it. So after this, we should, I'm expecting it to change. There we go. Nice. That's awesome. All right, not too bad, kids. Not too bad. A little bit of hard work today. Did some refactoring. Found a couple issues in CodeRush. The effects are gorgeous, though. I'm loving the effects on this. Maybe we should include some sound effects there, too, for fire as it comes in. That's a good idea. The scaling of the effects, we got that. The scaling of the trailing effects. All of that. It's feeling really, really good. All right, let's get a raid going here for you. Thanks so much, everybody, for hanging out with us. I'll send you over to Oh Bother. Love the tech hardware crunch over there. Wasabi Dev out there. Hey, Wasabi Dev. Didn't see you in there. Good to see you, buddy. Glad you're out there with us. Here we go. We'll see you. Send you now. See you tomorrow, everybody.